Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Kwali, host of Nonstop Plan, and I'm back with another serious, crucial topic. Man, listen, I ain't trying to neglect y'all, and by any means, I love dropping content, but as you know, I gotta attend to my fatherly duties. The bun was supposed to be out a couple days ago. He's still in there baking though, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe he liked the aesthetics, but we gonna rock with it. But when he get here, I'm still gonna be dropping more fire, as you know. But as I do in the beginning of all my shows, I recap the last episode. So on the last episode, I had my boy on NBB artist or native born black artist. We talked about sexual arousal and the spiritual connection between that, and ritual pieces that are associated with it. So if you haven't already, check out that fire episode because it was fire. But without further ado, I got another special guest back on for another serious topic. He was here before, and he's his second time coming around. But got my boy Devinino back in the building. Every time
Okay.
him we connect, it's always great conversation. We always talk about a lot of things that a lot of people aren't hip to. So we're gonna expose you to some more stuff. So I'm very excited about this episode to say the least. And we're probably gonna have many more coming in the future. So just keep an eye out for that. But today we're talking about Central Dogma, right? Central Dogma and what encapsulates that in a sense, right? But I want to give you a quick disclaimer when we talk about these topics. By no means is it advice. By no means is it giving you educational. It's educational, but we're not trying to sway you or put you in a predicament where you are going against, and I'm waving my hand because some things you cannot say on platforms. So we gotta be mindful of that. But we just here to open your mind, give you a different perspective. By no means is this educational advice or actual advice. It's just something to expose you to a different perspective. So just wanted to put that out there. But the floor is yours, my boy Devinito. Go ahead, talk to the people, let them know what we're talking about today.
And how y'all doing? First of all, I want to make sure that everybody's having a wonderful day, man. I hope everybody has been taking care of themselves. Okay. Second of all, I'm Devinino, back from Charlotte, North Carolina. This time I'm actually at home. So I'm actually in my hometown. So it's a little different, you know what I'm saying? I get there chill and relax. Last time I was on vacation in Arizona, which is where I met Quali. So it's good to be back home. I do miss Arizona, but I was missing home too. And it's crazy. Um, Today we're going to be talking about the central dogma. So, central dogma meaning how is your mind controlled? How are you influenced on your everyday life? Why do you feel certain ways when you do certain things? Why are you even thinking about doing these things? Why don't you just try to do something else? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, why are we existing in the way that we do? Okay, why do we live like this? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Why do we live like this, and why do we feel like this? Um, so first I'm gonna start off by saying you have six senses, okay? Your six senses are gonna influence your life directly, okay? So this is more of a scientific approach, um, rather than spiritual. Last time was spiritual, this will be scientific. Now I will say everything I say is purely theory, okay? So do not take this, get mad at Khalid saying, bro, why are you bringing this guy on the on the call talking about something that I don't want to hear? You know what I'm saying? But if you open your mind and listen, you're gonna learn something. You're gonna be like, you're gonna be so much more mindful of what I'm saying today. All right, so keep your mind open. That's all I'm asking before I start, okay? All right. So let's talk about the six senses, okay? Everybody's like, first of all, you only have five senses. Wrong. Okay. The sixth sense that I'm talking about is thought. Okay. Some people call it intuition. Some people call it third eye awareness, whatever they call it, right? That is your sixth sense. So I'm gonna read them from top to bottom and I'm gonna explain their significance and why it's important to, keep these tight. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is you want to keep them tight. You see what I'm saying? Tight on the rope. You want to keep them in line. Okay. All right. So first sense is gonna be smell. Your second sense is going to be sight. Your third sense is going to be thought. Your fourth sense is going to be hearing. Your fifth sense is going to be taste. And your sixth sense, or not in a particular order, but your sixth sense, in this case, if I'm reading them down the list, it would just be touch. Okay. Your true sixth sense, don't forget, is thought. Okay. So if y'all see me looking over to my left, your right, that's just my notes. Okay. And I'll show you guys what my notes look like in a little bit. All right. So let's start with that the most potent sense. Okay. What sense takes up the most capacity when you receive that signal? Okay. Which one transfers the most information to your brain? The most, and I'm gonna let y'all guess. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be like, what do you think the most significant sense is out of those six that I just listed? I'm gonna give you like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. All right. So thought is not right. Okay. I know a lot of y'all think we're thinking it takes up so much of my brain. I think every time it just and I have Moon and Virgo, so my mind is always racing. But thought is not the most significant sense. The most significant sense, the most capacitized, like the one that takes up the most capacity, is smell. Have you ever smelled something you like, bro? Good gracious, bro, that steak, bro, and it changes your mood. It makes you upset. You like, man, I gotta get out of here. Walking by a dumpster, walking by a trash can. You see what I'm saying? It's because smell takes up one half of your brain's capacity. Bro, you can almost not even it takes up so much of your brain's capacity. Like it's so hard to even focus on anything else. Have you ever just smelled something so good, like food, for example? You like it takes your whole attention, it turns your whole head. You could be walking by like a taco stand or something that, or like somebody, cooking chefing up. And you like, bro, that smells so good. It smells so good that you even say, like, dang, because it's taking up one half of your brain's capacity. Okay. So if you guys want to start your morning off, your morning routine, and we're gonna get into elements of time later, but starting off the way you start off your day does matter. Okay. The way you start off your day matters a lot. Okay. So starting off your day, lighting a candle, starting off your day with some incense, starting off your day with essential oil diffuser. Okay. This is gonna boost your mood and boost your, not only is it gonna boost your mood, but it's gonna boost your brain's like flow. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes I would put a couple drops of lemon oil into my diffuser because I understand that, hey man, if I want to feel good today, if I want to be on a good vibe, if I want to be powerful today, man, let me go ahead and take care of this major sense, right? Smell. Man, so that will be sense number one, okay? Watch what you're smelling, okay? It's gonna help you. I promise. Okay. So the second, now this is interesting, man, but the second sense that influences us the most, okay? So you got one half, okay? It's already been taken. So then that means you only got one half left and it has to be split between the other five, right? So and this is the sense where when I say they, y'all gonna hear me say they. They means the elites, okay? The shadow government, whoever is controlling this, everything you see, what cars are being sold, the stock market, but what are we taught in school? You see what I'm saying? Whatever's controlling that, whoever, what group of people are controlling that, okay? What we're watching on TV. Oh, so let's get into the next sense. The next sense is going to be sight, okay? What we see. So you had smell, now you got sight, man. So what you see influences your everyday life and how you feel. And it takes up 1/4 of your brain's capacity when it's being transferred in signal. Okay. So you got on this side, you got all this to smell. All right. And I'm a visual learner, okay? So I'm doing this. Don't laugh at me, y'all. But that top, you see my right eye up here? That's sight. Okay, so it takes up that hemisphere like, ooh, that's a whole chunk. That's a fourth. So what we're watching on TV, okay? Um, what are they feeding us to see? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna get too deep into you know, film and adult animation, but y'all know what I'm talking about, man. They want you to watch something that is gonna lower your vibration, lower your way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Keep you thinking at a certain level. So on these entertainment channels, man. I would say, they showing us love and hip hop. We talked about that. They showed us love and hip hop. They showed us
You know, that's
all
my
these
favorite. That's my favorite analogy, man. Anytime I talk about them, I'm like, man, you watching that Love and Hip Hop, your frequency probably zero.
yeah, it's probably down there. You see what I'm saying? Because man, it's nothing but drama, right? It's not telling you anything. Turn on
Essence,
nothing. Um, let
substance.
you. It's ain't nothing of substance. You see what I'm saying? Like you choose what you want to watch. Okay, man. Do I watch movies? Of course, bro, because I like to gain insight. But I watch movies with messages. For example, I've watched Avatar. I've watched Soul. I've watched even inspiration movies like Jackie Robinson or Flight, something with a message behind it, is what I like to watch. Okay, because I understand that, oh, bro, that's doing something to my subconscious mind. Okay, so they're gonna feed us things like MTV, drama. Oh, don't get me started. Don't think I don't like thrillers or action movies, but something with some extreme, like horror movies or something with extreme violence, something that's gonna put you at a diminished state. You see what I'm saying? Emotionally, they're gonna show that to you. Okay. Um, and I'm sorry that I have to say this, and I'm not even sorry. Okay, pornography, man, leave it alone. Okay, that is destroying your subconscious mind. Okay, okay, it's too crowded. It's going to be too crowded. Okay, leave it alone. If you want to have a sexual experience, man, it's how many people is it in this world? Shoot, too many. Choose one. You see what I'm saying?
Unless
It's
you're
not
married.
hard.
Unless you're
Yeah,
married,
unless you're married.
you got
But
one
you got
option.
your one. And if you're married, man, enjoy the connection that you have with that person because it will be like no other. And when you lose it, you will miss it. Okay. So make sure that you're being thankful. Okay.
Facts.
So we talked about smell. We talked about sight. So now, dang, we only have 1/4 left. Okay. So we're gonna split up this 1/4. The next one that is controlled by them, the elites, okay, is thought. Okay. They, them controlling what we think. Okay. So this kind of ties into what I was just talking about was what we see. But once they can control what you see, they can control how you think about it. They can control what you think, what comes through your mind. Because everything, just think about it. Your eyes are it's nothing but a vessel for perception that comes from the outside world to the inside world. If we couldn't see, we would just be limiting our experience in life, right? So thought takes up 1/8 of your brain's capacity. Okay. So when you're thinking something, you're only using 7/8 of your brain to perceive the world around you. That's how I kind of want to put it. Um, so that 1/8 is taken up. So man, the best way to control this, first control what you see. Okay, because these go in order. So you can control what you see, what you smell, then control what you see. Okay, what you're intaking visually, and that's gonna control your thoughts. Okay, cool. So now this is why I think that clearing your mind on a day-to-day basis is necessary. You know how your phone is just bugging, acting up, and the reason why it's going so slow and progressing is because you haven't cleared. You know how you swipe up and you clear all the tabs. You know what I'm saying? And then your phone starts acting cool. It's like, dang, I should have been did that. Well, it's the same thing with your mind. You see what I'm saying? You want to give yourself a clean slate. You see what I'm saying?
Like clear your cookies, clear your cache.
Yeah, clear your cache, clear your cookies, man. So your device is not moving slow, but this is your device right here. You see
Facts.
what I'm saying? So it's not crowded. Okay, so this is why I feel like reading is important. Meditation, time in silence, time with loved ones, something that's going to recharge you. You see what I'm saying? Recharge your mind. So 1/8 is thought. Um, Sometimes it is good to take a break from thinking, and that's the craziest thing because it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Wait, before we go on, because I'm like, I make fun of my wife all the time. I'm like,
uh,
what you thinking right now? She'd be like, nothing. I'm like, it's impossible not to think. So how are you not thinking right now? Like, what do you mean you're not thinking? Like, you have no
of
thought
course.
at all. Like your brain, you have too
Of
many
course.
synapses, dendrites. You got too many things that are going on. voluntary motion, involuntary motion. So how are you not? You have to be thinking about something like, oh, when am I going to
Right.
go eat? Or analyzing what you're watching on television. Like, oh, I'm gonna get
Of
up and go
course.
to the bathroom. Like, you have to be thinking. I would say
Of course.
99.2% of the time you have to be thinking. So I'm like,
Yes.
so it's funny you say
That is
that, like
accurate.
turn your mind off, because I'm like, how do you turn your mind off? 'Cause my mind always thinking. I be
Of
like, man, why?
course.
I just don't want to think right now. You know what I mean?
Of course. Of course. Coming from an air sign, right? Coming from an air sign. Of course he's gonna say that he's always thinking so. But he is right. You are thinking 99% of the time. But that 1% you do need. Okay. So it is cool. It's cool how you made that analogy. Like you were talking to your wife and she said that she wasn't thinking anything. It's because she let herself be in her most simple state. You see what I'm saying? And her most simple state was without thought. You see what I'm saying?
She a water sign too.
Water sign. So it makes so now y'all can see where we're making these connections. Okay. And I'm a water sign also. So this is probably why you hear me saying this right now. All right. All right. So yeah. I think we talked a little bit about zodiac astrology, but water signs are good at escapism, or I don't know how to say it, just chill, like completely on a chill level. And air signs are big on intellect. So we're not gonna get too far into that, but I just want to give that disclaimer.
Facts.
Um, so that 1/8 was thought. Okay, so if you can relax your mind, please do that. But they're all connected. So even smelling something soothing is going to help you relax your mind. Smelling something and watching something soothing is going to help you relax your mind even more. Sometimes all you need to do is watch the back of your eyelids. You see what I'm saying? That will help you relax. All right. So we're through a really, really thick portion of the brain so far because we went through smell. They can't really control what you smell, but they can control what you watch, which controls what you think. All right, cool. So this is the last one, and this is the one I like to talk about the most. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what in a sense we can kind of say, because we got pollution, we got things that are going
All
on that
right.
you're smelling, so it's still interrupting that brain activity because it's
Ooh,
killing brain cells when you smell stuff that when
that's right.
planes fly. I'm not gonna say the term that is used. Look it up. But when planes fly by and you see the white stuff behind it, trails, you got them going on. So
Yeah.
I feel you, bro. As far as like being like
Yes.
actually there in your face doing it like
Yeah.
intentionally. But when we talk about the like thinking deeper than what it is, when you see certain
Mm-hmm.
like here in Arizona, like our air quality is terrible. Like
Is
sometimes they
it?
tell you, they tell you like, oh, carpool with friends if you're going to go to work today. It's a high pollution rate today,
Okay, I got you.
and in the sky, like literally looks like it's like a dirty lens. That's how the sky looks. Even though
Ah,
it's super
okay.
sunny, like you can see the
Yeah.
cascade of the mountains and all that stuff, but the air, like the visual before you see like the foreground before the background, the foreground, you can tell that it's dirty.
Got you.
And then like another thing is, I'm gonna be real quick so I can get back on your,
Oh,
talking
you
your
good.
Israel.
This is what we do.
Like Mexico City, they say it's one of the most dirty, most polluted cities in the world, right? But
Mm.
that's kind of similar to what it is here. You know what I'm saying? When we look at the air quality, when we look at the aesthetics, the visuals, you can tell like, all right, it's a little more clean right here compared to what it is here. Now, where you were when you came in, you was in, like we said, we in the valley, man. It's a bubble, right? A little half bubble, half globe, right? So everything is concentrated. But when you went up north
Mm-hmm.
and you went to the
Mm-hmm.
elevation, which is, if y'all
Mm-hmm.
don't know, he was about 6,000 feet in the air. Compared, that's higher than Denver. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
he was
wow.
around some of the most purest air that's here, and that's why like if you went up there, you taste the air, it tastes pretty
Much
good,
fresh.
it tastes clean. When you come down here, you be like, oh no, I can't
Mm,
breathe, man. It's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I just want to throw that out there. Like I hear what you're saying
Yeah.
with that, but at the same time, we talk about like being able to conflict your mind or to
There
change
you
your
go.
perspectives. There's things that are happening around you from a smell point that can impede on that as well.
That's right. That's right. When I was in Sedona, Arizona, which you said the elevation is so high, I actually did a run, and when I was intaking the oxygen, it was so much for me. You see what I'm saying? Because of the elevation, it went straight to my lungs, and my lungs were like almost overfilled. You see what I'm saying? When I was done, But when I did the run in AZ in Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
boy, I was ready to be done. You see what I'm saying? It was like it was thick. It was thick, bro. You see what I'm saying? When I was done, I only did half a mile. I was like, bro, I'm not. I'm done. I'm done. So
That's
it
all
was a
you
little
needed.
different.
That's all you
That's all I
needed.
needed, man. That's
Yeah.
all I needed to
Your
intake.
body tells you that stuff. The body tells you like, hey, that's all you need. And you know where I lived at prior to me moving down to Phoenix, the Phoenix metropolitan. I was in Flagstaff. The Flagstaff
Oh
is
wow.
8,000 feet high.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's 2,000 feet higher. So air quality is
Ooh.
pure up there, and you walk up a flight of steps, you be like, hey, hold on, let me reconsider life real quick, because the air is so pure. So your lungs aren't going through this whole like people who smoke, right? People that smoke, right? Smoke cigarettes. We ain't gonna say the other stuff, but when you smoke cigarettes, like think of the air as an air filter. The dirtier the air filter, the harder it is for the air to go through, especially clean air. So that's the same thing when you're down in these areas where, the pollution is in your lungs and it's creating those pockets where the air can't flow through freely. It messes with your air. I mean, the way you breathe in a sense. But when you get to those areas where they say, "Oh, well, it's because the air is thinner up there." No, it's not thinner. At least in my opinion, it's
Right.
not thinner. What it is it's so pure that your lungs don't need much to operate.
That's right.
It's not working. They're
That's
not
right.
working at the full capacity to try to get through this because it doesn't need to,
Exactly.
because it has what it needs. So we got to change, shift our mindset and stop people. We've been told this for years. Oh, when you go higher elevation, um, it's harder to breathe because it's harder to breathe because you have to work a little bit harder because the air is thin. No, air is
That makes
air.
no sense.
It's more pure. It's more pure.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, it's more pure. The oxygen, the oxygen intake rate is so high. You see what I'm saying? And the percentage of oxygen in the air is just different. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the air is pure. So it's not polluted. You know what I'm saying? We got all these cars and all these vehicles and trucks and buses and boats polluting our air. You know what I'm saying? So if you live in a very concentrated area, especially in a valley, um, then your air quality is different. So
Yes,
my
sir.
man Carlisa said it. He said it. You know what I'm saying? But man, all that was to touch on smell. So all that was saying, you know what I'm saying? Smell is the number one. So go outside, get you a breath of fresh air in the mornings, light
Facts.
you a candle. You see what I'm saying? Just take you a deep breath. Have you ever taken a deep breath and kind of recentered yourself? But have you ever taken like a whole bunch of short breaths? You start getting upset. Like people who get mad, they just can't breathe. Like if you don't want to be mad, take you a good deep breath. You know what I'm saying? When you start getting angry, you start breathing at a more frequent rates, and that is causing your heart rate to go up. So it's like your body is responding to your brain. You see what I'm saying? So if you feel yourself getting upset, take you a deep breath. Okay, we big on taking care of your mind. It's Devinino and Quali, so we big on taking care of yourself.
That's
So
straight
take you a
facts.
deep breath, man. All right. So that was that was
Thought we were
so
on
we've been
thought. Now we're on the fourth one now.
yeah. We're actually on a remember we're on the fourth one. You're right. So that was thought the fourth one, and this is the last one that is I would say controlled the most by the elites. Would be what? I want y'all to guess real quick. All right, so y'all, did you do your guess? Cool. All right. So the one that is just going crazy is what you're doing right now. What are you doing? You're listening. Hearing. Hearing takes up 1/16 of your brain's capacity. Okay. So this is big because how do we get control through our hearing? Music, podcasts, what they show you on YouTube, okay, and this kind of ties into what you watch because you can't most people don't watch without listening. You see what I'm saying? Most people listen and watch. So you see how they all connect? It's like this central portion of how our brain's capacity is controlled. Okay.
Mhm.
That's why it's called the central dogma. So hearing, hearing. Watch what you listen to. So now let's talk about a little bit about music. Um, if you're going to listen to something and you're listening to something with a whole bunch of violence in it, you listen to a whole bunch of, especially hip hop. Y'all know how hip hop is, man. Violence, uh, hoes, drugs, money. You see what I'm saying? When you turn that off, that has influenced your mind. So guess what you're gonna be thinking about for the rest of the next 3 hours? Hoes, money, drugs. You see what I'm saying? Now don't tell me. I'm not saying don't get lit with your friends. You're supposed to have fun, but at the same time, understand that when you're intaking a lot of things that are on a certain vibration, or I ain't gonna even say vibration. Let's keep it scientific. When you're intaking something that is influencing your thoughts on a certain level, you're intaking. Okay, we're nothing but vessels. We intake everything around us. Okay, so making sure, man, and I'm gonna tell you the alternative. Um, man, go ahead, listen to you some a little meditation music. You see what I'm saying? Listen to. You can even go search it up on YouTube. Meditation music. Okay, they have different frequencies that you can intake, bro. Do it for like 10 minutes, bro. You're gonna start to see yourself. I'm like, dang, I'm feeling kind of straight today. You know what I'm saying? Listen to you something motivational. Listen to something like this. Shout out to Kwali. You see what I'm
Or I
saying?
say listen to that Devinino,
Oh
SoundCloud.
yeah. Hey man, y'all stream my music on SoundCloud at Devinino. Follow me on Instagram, man. All of my music is safe to listen to. I pride myself on that. You see what I'm saying? It's safe to listen to. Fun. You see what I'm saying? I have fun when I'm making. I do what I love, so you're gonna be able to sense that. So, um, man, yeah, y'all don't be afraid to be different. Okay, you don't have to be like everybody else, bro. Difference is what makes, and your uniqueness is what makes you you. Okay, so shoot, listen to somebody like me. Listen to somebody like motivational. You see what I'm saying? All right. So hearing also watching what you watch on Netflix. 'Cause everybody know we love Netflix. All right. Um, choosing your own podcast, right? Listen to more quality, listen to more motivational podcasts. Okay. Um, don't be just listening to people, man. And another thing, before I get to the next element, you got people on YouTube and they're telling you um all type of stuff these days, bro. All types of things. You got people telling you to I don't even know, bro. You got two
Buy
people telling
buy
you to
my
watch
buy
porn.
my ebook. That's what people say on YouTube,
Yeah,
Snapchat, all that. TikTok. Buy my ebook, but the ebook has is garbage.
it has
So
no it's garbage. It has nothing that's gonna benefit you. You see what I'm saying? You
mm-mm,
got people you got people telling you to do the wrong things and it's confusion. Okay.
mm-hmm,
So with the element of confusion comes anger. And with the element of anger comes just loss. You see what I'm saying? So what you want to do is take care of your mind. Okay. Don't just go out and listen to everybody. Everybody's not right. Okay. Everybody is not right. Shoot. Even what I'm saying, you have to take with a grain of salt today. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Okay. Figure out how you feel. How do you feel after listening to this podcast? You should feel pretty inspired. You should feel pretty good. On the other hand, how do you feel after you just listen to a whole bunch of Pooh Shiesty? You see what I'm saying? You feel like you about to go shoot up a club. You feel me? It's two different frequencies, okay? And that's just the truth. It's two different intakes, two different energies that you're
Mm-hmm.
intaking, okay? So keep that in mind whenever you listen to it. I ain't say like I said, I'm not saying don't get lit with your friends, but when you by yourself, how about you watch how about we watch what we listen to? How about we watch what we intaking? Because that is another way that they're controlling us, putting anything on the radio. So we just turn that on. You don't even know who you listen to. Who is it? How you don't know what you listening to? You see what I'm saying? This is what we do. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So be mindful. Be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that pretty much sums up how the elites are controlling us. You got smell, sight, thought, and hearing. Okay, but as far as smell, like me and Quali talked about, smell is an influence, but the main three are sight, thought, and hearing. Okay, what you see, what you think, and what you hear are very big portions of how you are controlled by the outside world. Okay, cool. So we got two more elements. Okay, the next element is taste. Okay, taste is 132, 1 out of 32 portion of your brain. Okay, transferring that signal to your brain. Okay, so what we eat. Have you ever just ate something? It's like, that was pretty good. You take another bite. That was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So that taste is sending that signal to your brain. Your brain is telling you, man, this is good. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get too big on, what I'm saying, what you should or shouldn't eat. Everybody's body is different and responds to different things. Okay. But what I will say is that, and even me, like when you eating, it's sending a signal with every bite is sending a signal to your brain. One thing I want to kind of a little funny note that I want to put in here is the most pleasure that you get is always gonna be from your first bite. So take it seriously. You see what I'm saying? I like food. I take that first bite seriously, bro. Sometimes because I do some fasting sometimes, and when I'm ready to eat, I'm like, all right, let me set this up perfectly, bro. Because I'm about to get every flavor that I want in this first bite because that's where your most satisfaction goes. As you
Hmm.
eat your next bite, it goes down, and then when you eat your next bite, it goes down and down, and then when you're almost full, hey, you ain't get no satisfaction. You see what I'm saying? You
You know,
just
it's
got
crazy. It's funny you say that, right? So again, I'm letting you talk your ish, bro, because I know you know you.
no, we good. We bouncing.
But check this, right? Have you ever noticed when you go to the restaurant, right? They bring you your food, and then but they come around and say, "How was the first bite?"
Oh, okay.
They always or the first couple bites. Like, how does the first couple
Hmm.
bites? How's it tasting? And most people gonna be
Hmm.
like, you know, they chewing at the moment.
And they,
But we talk about psychologically how they're in a sense probing you to get the
right.
perspectives because they know food is a science.
That's
I
right.
had did a drive yesterday actually. I picked up a chef. Me and him was rolling, you know, 45, 50-minute drive. So we
Oh wow.
talking
Oh
food,
yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
there's a science to food. You know, we talk about bitters, we talk about sweets, we talk about, you know, if you're gonna marinate something, what's the purpose of marinating? How do you get the best flavor out of marination, right? If that's even a word, or if you marinate. But also we
Yes.
talk about
Yeah.
when you render something down. All right, I'm gonna add this specific wine to these shallots to this this garlic, and we're gonna let it render down for a couple of minutes so we get the best flavor. And bro, I watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay, right? Top Chef,
I love
Master
it.
Chef, Hell's Kitchen, right? I watch a lot of that, and they'll say automatically because they pioneers in the game, right? When somebody does something that's amateur, and I'm air quoting amateur, it's like, oh, you got a duck breast, right? You got the duck breast. They say you gotta let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes. Let it rest because you gotta let those juices, you know, in a sense, circumvent within that meat so that it gets the full flavor. If you cut it right away, what does the flat all that flavor goes out. Just like they say you're
Hmm.
supposed to if you steam vegetables, normal times if you steam vegetables, they lose all nutritional value in a sense. You're supposed to eat them raw. You know what I'm saying? So
There
it
you
just
go.
again we talk about palates and how you eat and how you taste. Taste it play even though it's 1/32nd of your brain.
Yeah,
I
there
feel
you
like
go.
that's wild. That's wild. But I just want to throw that up there.
Uh,
When you said the first bite is the best bite, but that's why them restaurants, you know, the hostess and the servers, they come around. Oh, how was the first bite or first couple bites? You're like, oh, yeah,
there
that's
you
pretty good.
go.
So
There you go, man.
opening my mind, right? You gotta open your mind.
That's right, man. They giving us appetizers, and hey, what we was really waiting on was the food, but we ate so much of appetizers, man. We didn't even enjoy our first bite of the food. You see what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
So, that's just a little fun little thing to keep in mind as far as taste goes, man. Look for that first bite because that first bite is the number one. You feel me?
But I
So,
also real quick before we go to our commercial break,
of
I really
course,
want to touch on food because I feel like it's super important, right?
I do too.
Like when we talk about taste, like I'm a huge advocate on 95% of what we eat is trash. And remember we talked about energy last time, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And I was talking when you get your fruits and veggies, make sure you got the nines and the eights and the fours and know what you're eating. If it's, you know, engineered, if it's organic, or, you know, if it's natural,
That's
right?
right.
So
Yes.
and it's funny because ever since we had that conversation, and I learned about that from another lady that I had took up to Sedona, who was a Ricky teacher, right? So you know she
Oh,
into all that.
okay.
That's how I learned that. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And I actually went to Whole Foods, and I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, this is like when I went to the organic section, everything was nines, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm like what? But people don't know this. They just, oh, there's just a number on it, right?
I didn't know that.
But
I did
bro,
not
a
know
lot of us don't, and it's like it's not until you're exposed to it by somebody else is when you really pick on. But
that. That's
real
right.
quick, we'll talk about food. Like I said, a good majority, of not all food that we eat is trash outside of the
That's
stuff
right.
that's there. But you don't even know if it's good because it's not explained to you on what's going on. But let's talk about diabetes. Let's talk about hypertension. We talk about cancer.
Wow.
Talk about all these things that are going on. If you're ignorant to the information and it's being fed to you by those who those, I'm waving my hands, y'all,
Damn.
them, right? They all of these things are strategic to keep you in a sense in your lowest state. So even though it's 30 seconds, you know what I'm saying? As far as
Enough.
that percentage, that's a small percentage, but it impacts whole like it's so significant across the board because
Yep.
you eat anywhere from 3 to 6 times a day.
That's crazy.
3 to 6 times
That's
a day
crazy.
you eat. So you're always eating midnight snacks,
Yeah.
early snacks, meal
Yep.
here, meal there, And even we talk about the food pyramid, right? When you were in
Yep.
school, you had the food pyramid. All of the foods in the first sections, like at the bottom, you had grains. You're not really supposed to eat grains, right?
That's true.
The second is meat and dairy. You're not supposed to eat meat. You're not supposed to eat dairy. But the things that you should eat are at the very top, but it says you're supposed to eat it in small portions, fruits, veggies, and omega 3s, 6, 9s, 12s, the stuff
The
that's
fish is,
essential to your
yeah.
soul.
Yeah.
Bro, it goes so deep,
That's crazy.
so deep. So, but
The stuff at the top.
but the good stuff at the top, bad stuff at the bottom, so you gotta eat more of that, right? But
Right.
I'm gonna leave that on that note, y'all. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. And I'll be back. And I just want to give y'all some housekeeping. If you haven't already, please subscribe. On YouTube. I'm on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Check me out. If you want to donate, you can donate at anchor.fm/stop playing. Help your boy out, man. I'm out. Especially I got the young one out here, well, soon to be
Oh,
young
yeah.
one out here.
For
So
sure.
help your boy out. But we'll be back very soon. And we're gonna have some crucialness to talk about. We still got one more to talk about. So
Got one
be
more to
ready
talk
for it.
about.
But we'll be back fairly shortly, y'all. Appreciate it. Yo, so we back. Had to take a quick refresher because man, when you talking that good ish, we talking that serious ish, that crucial ish is real out here. So
That's right.
we had to regroup real quick, get some water in us. You know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. But as you know, we've talked about a few things when we talk about the central dogma effect and how us as a people, we the people, as some may say, we're affected by those who have, the puppeteers in a sense, right? We're the puppets that are puppeteers, and things are done how they're done, specifically, but also strategically to keep things the way that they are. So we've been talking about the senses, the six senses, and how they're all manipulated so that we stay within that in a sense lower frequency or stay in that same frame of reference of how we move in within the world in a sense. But we got one more sense to talk about, and then we're gonna kind of wrap it up. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and talk about the last sense, my boy Devinino.
All right. So, um, just to give you guys a breakdown of what we've already talked about, we talked about smell. Smell was number one. After that, we talked about sight. Sight was number two. We talked about thought. Thought was number three. We talked about hearing, which was number four. We just talked about taste, which was number five. Okay. And now we're going to talk about the last one, which is left. That's touch. All right. So touch takes up 1/64th of the brain. So that's half of taste, what we just talked about. So now the thing about touch is you touch and then you receive touch, right? So touch works both ways, which is very interesting, but it sends a 1/64 signal to your brain. So that's how much of your brain's capacity is receiving it. So as far as touch goes, I mean, it's pretty basic. When you're being touched, by your lady or your guy, if you're a lady, um, and you're receiving that signal, it kind of puts you in that state like, oh man, I like this person. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Touch is big, bro. You know what I'm saying? Feeling something smooth versus feeling something rough. Um, Getting pricked by something. You see what I'm saying? Man, like that hurt. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna change your mood in a certain and 160. It's gonna change your mood, and 164th signal is getting shot up straight to your brain.
Right.
So as far as touch goes, like even me, I'm sitting on a blanket right now. Because bro, I'm a cozy kind of person, and even me feeling this blanket right now is kind of soothing my brain in a way. Like if I'm just rubbing it, but it's one of those blankets, like this, y'all know this material,
Right.
that real fuzzy material, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like not cotton, but it's like satin almost.
yes, yes, bro, that's my favorite material, bro. I love that material, and it's covered in my room. So man, I'm just feeling that. And I'm relaxing myself. You see what I'm saying? That's a good way to relax. So people often um they'll rub something like smooth to help them. Have you ever seen somebody do that? Like rub something like smooth or warm water. They'll run warm water. I don't know why I can't get that out. It's like a tongue twister, but on their hands, taking a nice hot shower. You see what I'm saying? To relax you because 164th is enough. You see what I'm saying? And that touch. So imagine combining all of them at once. So for example, let me try to give y'all a scenario if you could. Okay.
I got one, but I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay. Mine is just and this is something that I used to do, but I used to get in the shower, so that would be the touch, right? So and then I used to put on some nice music that I like to hear. Probably some Brent Fayez or something like that, man. Something like got you in that groove, that R&B, you know what I'm saying? And then that would control what I was thinking. What I would see, I would turn off the light so I would see nothing but darkness. You see what I'm saying? So that I could completely relax and not receive any extra sensory input. And then, like I said, I would light a candle or do my diffuser. So I just only thing I didn't do was taste. So I used 5 out of 6 senses at once. And best believe when I got out of that groove or whatever I was doing, I came out of there and I felt great because I took care of myself with 5 out of the 6 senses. So that was like I ain't gonna lie, thirty. That was 31 out of 32 of the perception of my brain. So I was using most of my brain by that point. I was like completely engulfed in what I was doing.
Hmm.
But but yeah, I'm just bouncing off of you, like whatever your example was.
Yours is more of a physical. Mine was more of a
Definitely.
like a visual, right? So this might be a little bit before your time, and I'm not
Uh,
trying to date myself, but the
like,
for your early '90s babies, and some in the middle, your boy Captain Planet, right? You got you got all the different elements that come in to create Captain Planet, who is a hero. So you got Earth, Wind, Fire, Earth, Wind, Water. I think it's only five though. Then you got Heart. Heart was like the last component to bring all that together,
oh
right?
wow,
Yeah. So you ever seen Captain Planet?
I've never seen it, bro, and this
You
is
gotta
kind of
check it out,
crazy.
man. It's pretty dope, man. Like I don't know, man. My childhood was great because the cartoons back then was great. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, so they took the elemental factors of it, right? And there might actually, let me see. I think there might be more. Let me see. Hold on, because well, I say all that to say, Captain Planet was pretty dope because it gave us the opportunity to see how the elements play together, and if you use them wisely, then creates like a super being in a sense.
there you go.
So it goes super deep or whatnot.
Connected them all.
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna come back with it once I look it up, and I'm gonna let
Okay.
you go ahead while I look that up real quick.
Okay. So one thing I wanted to let you guys know is that remember how I said that there were the three that were controlled by them. I'm just gonna say them for YouTube purposes. Um, Sight, thought, and hearing. Okay, so sight was 1/4, thought was 1/8, and hearing was 1/16. So if you add those all together, how much of your brain capacity is being used? 7/16. So that's taking up almost half of your brain's capacity or half of your brain's signal. You see what I'm saying? So That's crazy, bro. Almost half of your brain can be controlled with just three elements. You see what I'm saying? So controlling those three elements, what you see, what you think, what you hear, and what you see will control what you think, and what you think and what you hear also can control what you think. So it's like the thought is like kind of in the middle. And I know my boy Kwali wanted to touch on thought a little bit, which I mean, I'm gonna let him touch on thought a little bit, but um, your thoughts are not something to be controlled, but to be guided. You see what I'm saying? Thoughts are not necessarily like, okay, this is what I need to be thinking, but it's a space. Think of thought. Thought is a realm. It's like a space that you want to be in. So sometimes I just tell myself, I need to keep my mind in the right place. I don't need to be thinking everything perfect. Like, oh, bro, we're humans. We're living a human experience. Like, you're gonna just be thinking crazy stuff sometimes. I'm like, why did I think that? You re-guide yourself. So thought is a space. Think of thought as a space, not a every thought has to be perfect. You see what I'm saying? Just keep your mind in a good place.
Oh, true that, true that. Yeah, I just looked it up real quick, not to like jump shift again, but yeah, it's earth, wind, fire, water, heart. So it got the
Uh,
five elements. But man, we can probably go deeper into that too, because again, we got a lot of these things play a key component in how everything shifts and moves everywhere. We talk
that's
about
right.
the world, we talk about the universe, all that good stuff. So I think that's important. But I'll kind of expand a little bit on like the thought process. I ain't really talk much about it when we were going through it because again, for me when I have my guests on, I want them to be able to speak. They're expose the audience to what they know, and then I'll expand when I need to expand. Sometimes you just gotta you got two ears and one mouth for a reason. Listen more, talk
I
less. You know what I mean? So
love
that's
it.
kind of that's the mantra I live by when it comes to education and having conversations. Listen more, talk
That's
less
it.
sometimes. um
Yes,
Especially if somebody's more knowledgeable, right? But I think the thought thing is, for me, even though it's the third on the list based on the list that we have, I feel like it's probably the most important. Kind of going back to the first question, what's the most important to you? Because that's what I thought initially. Because like your brain is your, if you've taken psychology class or you've taken any class that talks about the bodily functions, your CNS or your central nervous system is your brain. So
that's
everything
right.
it's a basically hardware, right? If you're looking at a monitor for a computer, it's your monitor. Everything goes into it. It sends things out. So I feel like it's super important because without that, your senses don't have a reason to sense.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to say the least. And I feel like too, when you listen to anybody that's in a position of power or someone who has, in a sense, unlocked the Da Vinci Code, right? They've unlocked how to be successful, how to do things in life. The first thing they tell you, they don't mention anything but how to change your mindset.
Yes, that's so true. That is so true, bro. That's
They be
the
like,
first thing
change it. Oh, go ahead, go
they'll
ahead.
be like. They'll be like, they'll be like, first thing you need to do, and people always think, oh, here it is, here it is, here it is. They're like, then you need to change how you're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
change the things that you do, change the things that you do on a day to day basis.
Yep.
Like, oh man, I already do that. It's like
Exactly.
that's because that's the key. The key to being successful, if you want to be successful in anything that you do, is you have to change. You have to, because we work from the inside out. You see what I'm saying?
Facts. Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So you have to change what's in to control what's out. You see what I'm saying? What you're putting out is going to be controlled by what you change. You know what I'm saying? What's inside. So
Yeah, and
hey
and
man,
and it goes. This goes hand in hand with them who have shifted things because they've created a mindset for you to believe that this is the only way for you to be successful. This like I talk to people, and we're getting close to ending up the wrapping up the episode, but you know, I worked in education for 10 years, so of course, as a kid, you're taught go to school, get good grades. After that, graduate, go to college, get a degree. You're going to make a lot of money, be happy. You're going to retire by 65, and you lived a good life at that point. But that's not true. That's not everybody's truth. You're right.
mm-mm.
But again, if it's been drilled into your brain since you were 2, 3 years old, when you start when you start daycare, right? You've been told this is what you have to do. You see your parents do it. You see your grandparents do it. You see your brother, sister, aunts, uncles. Everybody's doing the same things. We're creatures of habit, right? But also we're creatures of attraction. So if we see all of these things going on, and you're not exposed to those other things, your mind is clouded and you think that that's what it is. And a lot of people don't know your brain is a muscle. You got to
I
feed
love
it.
it. I
You
love
got
it.
you got to feed it. And when I say feed it is not essentially you going to the gym and beating your head on the wall until it get bigger. Feeding it is what you eat, what you drink, what you listen to, what you see. Like if you seeing all
Right.
these things that are negative, kind of the essence of, like I said, the central dogma, right? Central dogma is how can we control the mind without controlling the mind?
Wow.
We don't have to be there specifically to control it. We could just put stimuli out there. We're going to put all these stimuli out there, and then people they have to make the decision on what they're going to take in and what they're going to avoid. So essentially,
Yes.
when it's all said and done, it's on you as a person.
Us. Love it.
Take accountability. Yeah, you got to take
I
accountability.
love
It's essential to the soul. And if you want to save your soul, we're not gonna get that. We ain't gonna go down that route
it.
because
We're gonna
then
go down around today.
they're gonna be
This
like, he's trying to build a cult.
no, we you know.
So,
Uh,
but yeah, but I think this is a super important episode because again, you know, we live in a society where there's so many things that are going on. We live in a world where there's so many things going on. You're exposed to so much, and none of it has actual meaning or it's not broken down. So the fact that things are done that way, we're put in a position where we're kind and of course, limited, but also we are brainwashed to believe that, and again, going back to thought, brainwashed, right?
there you
We're,
go.
we're, we're, we're,
Yeah.
we're, we're taught to believe that this is the end all be all. But the end all be
Right.
all is what you make of. And if you're not
That's it.
trying to seek like a higher learning or an awakeness or stepping outside of the norm, I have listen. I'm like, how does love and hip hop still? How is that still on television? But you know why? Because people live that life. They think that that's the life to live. So they watch it, they take notes, right? Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But it's like, in reality, you really just sold your soul, like
Yeah.
for pennies on the dollar, and you're not going to get that dollar for real. So I say all that,
Yeah.
I say all that to say, change your mindset, open up your mind, do things that are more beneficial to you. If you are tapping into your self energy, you know, your chakra, your kundalinis, if you're tapping into that stuff, you're going to know what feels wrong and what feels right. And you have to make that decision on if you're going to continue to do wrong or you're going to start to do right. And don't get me wrong, that's kind of a catch 22 because who knows what's really wrong or who knows what's really right. You know,
Right.
we've been, and that goes deeper than what it is. And I'm not going to get it. You know, that's something I could talk to y'all about on a Patreon or something like that. So,
There you go.
right. So, but again, from me and Devinino, open up your mind, be open to learning new things, challenge yourself to be different, and don't
Yes.
fall into the nuances of I want to be like everybody else. FOMO is real, fear of missing out. Don't believe that. Don't believe the hype, people. Don't believe the hype.
Hype,
So
man. Be yourself.
but with that being said, I hope this episode really, gets you thinking, gets the gears going, because we're gonna come back with more fire stuff, stuff that's
Oh
gonna help you
yeah.
tap into
For
you
sure.
as a person, because it's important. You gotta know about yourself. And a lot of people don't know themselves. So if you
Wow.
haven't already, I'm gonna end on that statement. A lot of people don't know themselves. I'm gonna leave it on that. But if you haven't already, please follow YouTube, subscribe, notification, all of that good stuff. Hit, and again, I have options where you can chop it up with me. We can do calls. I'm open to bringing people on. If you're going to be respectful, you can get on the podcast. We can talk too. So
There you
check
go.
us out, and then I'm gonna put Devinino's information back in there in the links, in the
Yep.
comment sections. Check him out. He got some good information out there, good music out there, something to vibe to.
There you go.
It's real out here. Let's get back to listening to good music, good information, good shows. Love and hip hop ain't it. Hope they don't come for me because I'm gonna keep saying what I'm saying.
It's
but
all good. You can say love hip hop.
but with that being said, this your boy Quali. This nonstop playing. Check me out if you want to donate. Anchor.fm/stop playing. And let's keep it rolling because I want to keep these serious topics going. But with that being said, again, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. And stay tuned. I got another one dropping soon.
Peace.
All right.